When I'm in Germany, I miss China so much. And when I'm in China, I miss Germany so much. Ni hao YouTube, what's going on? Thailand to China. We're out here in the beautiful sun. I already got some color and very nice. We like this in Germany. And today we will talk about the top 5 things I really miss when I'm not in China. Enjoy.
你是我的小呀小苹果，怎么爱你都不嫌多，红红的小脸温暖我的心窝。
Number 5, the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi in China is one thing I really miss when I'm not in China. So what is so special about the Wi-Fi in China? Well, compared to Germany, let me tell you that Wi-Fi in China is basically everywhere. In every small coffee shop, in every small restaurant, everywhere. And when I say small, what I mean by small is just like the smallest snack shop you can imagine, right? There is Wi-Fi everywhere. On train stations, on airports, small shops, restaurants, small restaurants, big restaurants, everywhere. Not on the streets everywhere, but at least in all the small shops you can go. In Germany, it is a bit different. And let me tell you one thing, most of the time, I mean basically all of the time, Wi-Fi in China is free, right? Whereas in Germany, if you go to a restaurant, they probably won't have Wi-Fi, right? If you go to coffee shops, most of the time they have Wi-Fi, like bars, coffee shops, they have Wi-Fi. The supermarkets, they usually don't have Wi-Fi, but there is big shopping malls that recently offer free Wi-Fi. For example, our biggest electronics market, Media Market, is offering free Wi-Fi if you put the password. So that's pretty good. But to be honest with you, like there is, even in bigger cities, not all of the places have Wi-Fi. And I just had the impression that Wi-Fi is a thing which is currently really needed in China. Everyone, basically everyone has minimum one smartphone. Even the older generation people have a smartphone. That's so normal in China. And they use their smartphone every day. It's like crazy. Even for me, I think this is a bit too much. They like their smartphones. So I think, in my opinion, Wi-Fi in China is pretty good. It's basically everywhere, and you can find it on more places than in Germany. Not talking about the rural areas in China for sure, but at least the bigger cities. And I was running around in Germany once in a while just looking for free Wi-Fi, and I wasn't able to find it. And that was kind of astonishing. And I felt like Germany was not very modern at that point. Number 4, going shopping on Sundays. Wow. Yeah, this is something I really miss when I'm back in Germany, when I just left China. In China, you can go shopping like from Monday to Sunday, at least 12 hours a day, maybe even 14 hours a day. Doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday. Shops and stores are open every day at almost all time. And as you might know, shops, at least supermarkets, are closed on Sundays in Germany because it's we say Sunday is the 7th day of the week, and it's a Christian day, and people are not supposed to work on that day. This is why shops are closed on that day. On the one hand, people think this is a good thing, right? They think there should be one day where people can have a rest, which is Sunday. I know that in China, many people don't work on Sunday, for example, in schools, universities, and so on, right? Other institutions. But at least this is the same in Germany for supermarkets. And I'm like, yeah, okay, Sunday is one day of the week where you usually don't have to work and where maybe you want to do some shopping. And you're like, oh, okay, it's Sunday, I can't do my shopping right now. So this is once in a while, this is kind of annoying in Germany. And this is something I miss when I'm not in China. And I'd like to say I appreciate it, but as I'm not working in a supermarket, I have to say I miss it. Number 3 of the top 5 things I miss most when I'm not in China. Chili. I really miss the spicy food when I'm not in China. Let me tell you that Chinese people really like to eat spicy things, and there is such a huge and big variety of various dishes and plates with spicy things. It already starts at breakfast time if you want to have your baozi, and you put some lajiao, some really hot chili pepper on your baozi. This is just like so good. I really like spicy food, and this is something I really miss in Germany, because I would say Germans, they don't eat any spicy food at all. It's just like, I think almost like the Brits, they don't like spicy food, and it's really hard to find something really spicy in Germany. Once in a while they use Tabasco chili sauce, which is something like a chili oil, but not really. But a real Chinese chili dish, like you get it in China, a real Sichuan dish, or something cooked with chili or in chili oil, like shui zhou yu, like, or shui zhou rou, like meat or fish cooked in chili oil with real chili pieces in it, or roasted with real chili, not existent in Germany. Also the Chinese malatang, stuff like this, the mala spice, the Sichuan spice. This is the numbing spice, which is kind of, it's not burning, but it's just like numbing your tongue and your mouth. This is something I really miss when I'm not in China. Also, I miss the really huge variety of let's say vegetables that is being cooked and prepared in China. Chinese people have such a massive variety of different dishes. Although the taste is once in a while the same, I got to admit that, right? They have this huge variety, but there's this variety of Sichuan pepper dishes. Oh, I'm already drooling. And but once in a while the taste is the same, but they have just this huge variety of let's say different vegetables. You can, like, sometimes potatoes is cooked with this special spices, and then an eggplant is cooked with this spices, and then it's another vegetable. They have such a massive variety of vegetables. They are cooking with different spices and stuff, and you can get those in every small restaurant. If you want to eat some vegetables with rice, basically something what is really healthy, you just go to the next small restaurant and order your vegetable dish. Where can you get that in Germany? In Germany, people like to eat meat, lots of meat and sausages, and it's kind of hard to find a good place which is just cooking or roasting some vegetables really quick for you with some fresh rice, just as a snack, something really small, some quick steamed vegetables. Really stir-fried vegetables, real quick stir-fried, really crunchy and healthy. And this is something I really miss when I'm not in China. The chili stuff, the hot stuff, and the really good vegetables. On the other hand, I love German salad. I love salad when I'm in Germany. So this is something I miss when I'm not in China. But the Chinese people, they have great salad as well. Number 2 of the things I miss most when I'm not in China: the cheap cabs. Taxis in China are really, really cheap, and they come in really handy if you want to get from point A to point B, because you can get cabs everywhere, basically everywhere in China, and they are, like, depending on where you're living, they are very, very cheap. For sure in Shanghai, Beijing, they are more expensive than in smaller cities or not so famous cities. Let's say in Harbin, I think in Harbin you can ride a cab for 2 renminbi per kilometer, which is something like, let me think, is like 15 euro cents per kilometer, which is like, it's nothing. This is really, really cheap. Let me give you an example. If you basically no one is riding the cab in Germany, as it is so expensive. Yes, we do have Mercedes-Benz taxis in Germany very often, but it doesn't matter which taxi you're driving. They are all very expensive. Let's say, I'd say 1 kilometer, maybe around 4 to 5 euros, something like that, depending on where you're going. I think you start with 5 or 7 euros, and then every following kilometer might be 3 or 4 euros or 5 euros. So if you let's say maybe you take a ride 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, you might have to pay like 30 euros, I guess, which is something around 200 renminbi, and that's a lot. Taxis in Germany are very, very expensive, and there is almost no one in Germany who's riding the cab unless they really need to. We all have our own cars, and if we don't have a driving license or if we don't have a car, we used to take a cab once in a while, but as they are so expensive, this is really, really rare. For example, if people don't have a driving license, they take a cab once a month to go to the supermarket and to do some heavy shopping or something like this, but it is really rare. So as I said, this is something I really miss. When I'm in Germany, just hold my hand like this. This is how you call a cab in China. Call the cab and say, okay, I want to go from A to B real quick. You can get a cab everywhere, really cheap. And you actually don't need a car in China. If you're living in one of the bigger cities, you absolutely don't need a car. There are buses, very cheap. The bus in Harbin is 1 kuai most of the time, right? Nothing. That's absolutely nothing. And you can ride the cab. The bike, not really. It's kind of dangerous, at least in Harbin, and it's too cold. But the bus, the taxis are a big thing, are really a big advantage compared to Germany. You can get from A to B everywhere you want. And if there is by chance no cab on the road, which does not appear very often, which doesn't happen very often, you can call one. It's called the Didi. You don't call the Didi actually anymore. You just order it with your smartphone, right? You have this Didi app, and you can call the taxi wherever you want. That's the private cab. We had this, other countries have this, and it's called Uber or something like that. I think it's not allowed in Germany anymore because there was too much competition for the expensive cabs. And and it's really practical. It comes in really handy, right? If you need this and you don't even know where you are, you just call this cab, and it takes you wherever you want, and it's so super cheap. So you really don't need a car in China when you're living in, let's say, not the countryside, right? If you don't live on the countryside, you absolutely don't need a car in China. And there's too many cars on the street. So why would you buy your own car, right? It doesn't make sense to me. And in Germany, like, I want to go there, and like, oh, do I have a car? How can I get from A to B? Oh, I have to walk like half an hour to get the next bus, and then I take the bus to go to the next train station, and then it takes me another hour to go there by train. So it's like, wow, when you're not living in a big city in Germany, it's really a hassle to travel from A to B, because either you pay an expensive cab or you will travel for hours. Number one is having lunch and dinner together with my friends. And the amazing atmosphere when going out in China. You know, like, probably most of you know that if you're going to a Chinese restaurant, most of the time you have this huge round tables, right? And you sit there with your friends together, or Chinese friends, foreign friends, whatever, right? And you just enjoy such a huge variety of different dishes you can enjoy at once, right? Let's say like this, maybe you go out with 20 people, 20 friends, you order 15 or maybe 12 different dishes. They all put on the table at the same time usually, right? You can turn the table, turn the dishes around, and you will have a long and great dinner. And you will be able to taste like 10, 12, 13 different dishes. There's such a huge variety of dishes. And you can have a talk, you can enjoy the atmosphere, can have a beer. And those meals or dinners are actually not too expensive. You can enjoy a huge dinner for, let's say, 50, 60, 70 renminbi, which is like 10 euros. One thing I really miss when I'm in Germany is this big variety of things you can have in a restaurant, right? When you go to a German restaurant, number one, the food is really, really expensive. If you want to eat out in Germany, you have to be ready to pay the bill, and the bill will be very high, right? If you go to a German restaurant, prepare to pay a lot, depending on where you go. But if you don't go for fast food, but a real German restaurant, you have to prepare like for paying at least 20 euros per person, which is like, let's say 150 renminbi. That's the minimum, I'd say, depending on what you drink. Drinks are also very expensive. And the next thing is like the variety in Germany is kind of poor. I gotta say it's poor. But it's not because the variety of the German food is poor. It's because the tradition and the habit of eating lunch or dinner in Germany is completely different than having this dinner in China. For example, when we choose one dish from the menu in Germany, we have like everyone, one person, one plate, right? This is how it works. And on one plate, there is usually a big portion of meat. Then you have some potatoes. Let it be mashed potatoes, fried potatoes, chips, right? And then you have some small amount of vegetables. And that's it. And that's your dinner. And you're munching on the same food for, let's say, 30 minutes. And all you have is those 3 dishes. Only these 3 varieties in your mouth. The same meat, the same vegetables, and the same potatoes all the time. And that's all the variety you will get. Unless you're there with a good friend or your family, and then you can share some things. But it's not common at all to order 3 dishes with 5 people and everyone takes a bit from here and there. No one will understand that, right? People will be completely confused. One person, one dish, right? One plate. And on this plate, you have some meat, some vegetables, usually a lot of meat, some vegetables, and some potatoes. That's how it's made in Germany. And I mean, it can be even worse. For example, if you order a pizza in Germany or in Italy, you get one pizza and it's all the same flavor. The whole pizza is just the same flavor. And you're eating the same flavor for 30 minutes just to get rid of your hunger, right? You're not enjoying different flavors and spices and this variety of vitamins and all this, just this big variety is just not there. You just have one big pizza to enjoy for the whole night. Unless there's anyone who's ready to share a slice of his pizza with you, right? And this is something I miss when I'm not in China. When I'm in Germany, I miss China so much. And when I'm in China, I miss Germany so much. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy this beautiful sun with me. Hope to see you next time. Give me a thumbs up. Bye bye. 再见。
你是我的小呀小苹果。